Hello. Today I am going to talk about a book that I read 5 years ago and pretend it was like yesterday, because for me, it felt like yesterday. I had a hard time deciding what book I wanted to actually review for the first time on this channel, and also to actually review a book. And I was like, but this book has been on my mind for a while, and let's just cut to this chase because you already read the title of the video. I'm going to be talking about The Red Sphinx by Alexander Dumas. The Red Sphinx, you say, by Alexander Dumas? What's that? Well, it's Red Sphinx by Alexander Dumas. It's that. Alexander Dumas, of course, you probably know already, since you are a smart person, that Alexander Dumas wrote The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo and The Man in the Iron Mask. What you probably didn't know was that The Three Musketeers is the start of a series. My cat wants to get in the door. You coming in? Okay. What you probably don't know about The Three Musketeers is that it is the start of a series called the D'Artagnan Romances. Romances with a capital R. And it is, of course, about D'Artagnan, who is the main character. And it spawned a 3 to 4 book series, depending on whether... Bless you. You've got to make an appearance, actually, now, because you've been making enough noise. The D'Artagnan romances are The Three Musketeers, 10 years later... No. 20 years later, 20 years after, 10 years later, and then The Man in the Iron Mask. Sometimes one of these is called Louise de Valliere, one of them might be called The Vicomte de Bragelonne, and so on and so forth. And then Alexander Dumas' lost novel, The Red Sphinx, appeared, and it was a sequel no one knew what to expect. And it happens like 15 days after The Three Musketeers. Yeah. So in this book, a lot of the main characters of The Three Musketeers don't show up, but it starts setting up stuff for 20 years after. It is a book I was not expecting. And it is also a book told from the villain's perspective, which is probably why it's been on my mind a lot. A lot of people have been talking about Hunger Games and how the new book, what's it called? The Song of Songbirds and something or other. I don't know, I only read the first Hunger Games book. So this is about Cardinal Richelieu, who is the bad guy in The Three Musketeers, or at least one of them. And he, after the events of The Three Musketeers, he is missing his lackeys, so he has to get new lackeys, who he grabs. And also, he's going up against other countries, and you kind of get to see this behind-the-scenes look at what he's up to, why he was doing stuff in The Three Musketeers the way he was doing. Does not have a clown on it, despite the cover. It does have Richelieu in it, which is great. It's super long. Is it worth reading? No. Unless you are like me and an absurd Alexander Dumas fan. Like an absurd Alexander Dumas fan. You probably won't get anything out of this unless you do like Alexander Dumas. And if you've already read The Three Musketeers. But at the same time, it's unfinished. And therefore, it does not feel satisfactory. It's uncopacetic. Lawrence Ellsworth is the translator, and he did a really good job. And the editor, they put in an appendix at the back for all the characters. And then you can learn about them in history and also keep their names straight, because there's a lot of characters in this massive book. Other things I like about this book is that it's super light. It's 800 pages, and it's super lightweight. Look at that. But it is fun to read from Richelieu's perspective. In a way, I kind of like Richelieu more now. And now I also have this hard time watching, any Three Musketeers movie or TV show, because they make Richelieu into this terrible bad guy who's just, mustache twisting and not at all the person he is in the books. This is my kind of non-review of The Red Sphinx, where I tell you not to read it, but also to read it, and also what it's about, and also it exists. I literally almost cried when I found out this book existed, because it didn't exist in English until this edition was published, until Lawrence Ellsworth saved my life. That's it. I hope you have a lovely afternoon and are reading good books and are talking about good books too. Am I super melodramatic? I'm super melodramatic. Don't touch your face!